Okay, and we are live. Just making sure that everything in the YouTube is going well. Okay, and yeah, we are officially live. Welcome our audience. Yeah, welcome audience to In the Yugi Know, your casual as heck podcast. It is me, Jello, the casual card gamer, and as always, I am joined by JC Theater YGO. And
Hello.
today we are going to be going through some pretty cool stuff. If you agree with me, JC, like this past couple of weeks has been pretty juicy in terms of stuff that's been released and spoiled and given to us by the Konami gods.
Definitely, I definitely agree. This contains exciting information. This podcast, so I'm in agreement with that for sure.
Awesome. And we have Golden Nova in the chat. What's up, Zane? We gotta get you back on. We should do a an Among Us stream. Get all of us on Among Us and just see who the best imposter is. But anyway,
Get that. I'm sorry, just real quick. Get
yeah,
that nice search engine optimization. If we become Among Us channels, it'll bring us all some good viewership. But sorry to
definitely.
interrupt. I just had to spread some marketing information there.
That's all right. It's all right. Anyway, I was just gonna go into how have you been in the past 2 weeks? What's new with you?
So the past 2 weeks, I actually went on hiatus. I guess I have like 5 videos that I just like haven't made thumbnails for and haven't posted them, that were made prior to like me starting my hiatus. I started watching Naruto Shippuden from the beginning. I'm on like episode 57. I'm in like a filler right now saga, but still. A little backstory with that is I only read the manga for like the first half of Shippuden, and I started watching the anime around the Great Ninja War. So like that was like a while.
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch the Pain Saga. But all that, my whole point is I'm having a good time, taking a little break from YouTube. Hopefully trying to figure some things out, and I'll come back strong. Of course, I still have this to get it out of my system a little bit. And also, I posted a video yesterday because on a whim, I decided to buy a box of Phantom Rage, which we'll get into in a few minutes here about Phantom Rage. But how are you doing with everything in life these past 2 weeks?
I've been doing pretty well. I am a little tired. We're still sort of in the process of moving, and I did take the break. I think it was last week I took the break, so there was nothing new. I managed to finish editing a video for Thursday this week, last week now. But I haven't filmed any new content yet. But I did sort of get that mental reset that I told you that I felt like the move gave me privately. And yeah, I got to perform in a bar again, and it was really fun. It was for Oktoberfest actually, for like the Filipino community living here where I live, and yeah, it was really fun. I actually got to start recording a new song that I've been putting off for a couple of months just because I was so busy with work and Yu-Gi-Oh, and yeah, it was really fun. Having no internet makes me a lot more productive. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much everything that's new with me. I still haven't gotten my filming room ready for anything. So if anyone watches any of my new videos for the next couple of weeks, I'll probably be doing it on the floor, just as a heads up. But anyway, Golden Nova says, "Yo, that's so cool, Jello. Thanks, man. I used to do it for a living when I was in Vietnam before I became a teacher. I had to sing in bars for 3 months because no one would hire me. That's besides the point. Today, let's start with Phantom Rage. So people have started um, a- acquiring boxes and pre-release kits and all that good stuff. And JC, like you mentioned earlier, you have already opened up a box to much of the jealousy of my morning today. And yeah, how was it? How was it?
So I will say a little backstory. For anyone watching, don't even bother watching the opening because I'll put spoilers and I'll say everything I said there right now. But basically, I can't remember the last time I opened up a booster box. I feel like there was some time in my YouTube career where I have, but honestly, the last box I actually remember opening is Battles of Legend Light's Revenge,
Oh wow.
privately before I had my YouTube channel. So it's been
Okay.
a while because I buy side sets to open, mainly the Megatins and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but I don't open up just straight up booster boxes for some reason. I don't buy them. So this was very, very fun, and I knew this before opening it, but especially during and after, when I was like just like sorting the cards I got into like cores, a lot of this set is interesting to me. Like I think this is like a really, really good set for me personally in terms of like what I like in it, because there's like 4 or 5 archetypes that I actually want to build from it. And that's like crazy because like buying the box, like literally I have like 5 decks like half done, especially of
Yeah.
course the common and supers mainly, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, this set, like, and it could be the past month, not having anything, so I'm like starving and hungry for
Yeah.
something. But I think Phantom Rage is actually like a really good and solid set after opening. And spoiler alert, my 2 secrets were the Kyubi, like the synchro for virtual world, and then I did get the Xyz monster Zeus, all those other letters, which was pretty cool actually. But I might just sell that one. I don't know, but to get my money back for the box, it was 75 USD,
Oh wow.
which is a little on the higher end. But I figured I wanted it right now, spur of the moment, and I got one of those like center cards. I guess they're giving out now with the
Yeah.
pre-releases, so it worked out. I don't mind it, but So how are you feeling about the set now that I said all that about my personal interaction with it?
Well, one, I'm still jealous. I have to wait until I'm probably getting them Thursday night, but I won't be able to open them until like Friday or something. And but I am really, I don't personally, I don't think that it really means much if I say that I'm excited for something, because I'm usually always excited for these sets to come out, because I have the syndrome. I think many people do in this game when they open up a booster and they say, okay, I'm only looking for this archetype and this archetype only, and then they start looking at all the other archetypes and go, these look really nice. I don't know what they do yet, but they look really nice, and that's sort of what happened to me. But yeah, I'm so excited. My main draw to this set was Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, and in conjunction with that, the Phantom Knights support, and of course the Tri Brigades. But then So 10 looks really cool. Digital World, I wasn't really interested at first, but they're starting to sort of grow on me. The aesthetic is starting to grow on me a little bit. What else is in there? We have the oh my god, I'm blanking. What else do we have in there again?
So the thing I'm not interested in, because I don't have the rest of the deck, but we did get more Infernity support.
Oh, okay, Infernity. Okay.
And then UA's got more support, which I am interested in, but I do have to pick up a lot of the deck that came out before this new support. But
Okay.
I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, they
Oh,
got mutants.
the
Mutants
biggest,
also.
the biggest, yes.
Yeah.
I say, which by all means continue saying mutants because it sounds better, but I say mutants, like I
Mm-hmm.
kind of put an enunciation on it
Yeah.
in my head out loud. I don't know how good it sounds. I still am warring with it, but that is actually, I think, on the top of my list, and I can't believe I forgot it until you mentioned it just now. But mutants are definitely something I'm interested in personally
Yeah.
from the set.
Yeah, they look really good. And before we move on, I just wanted to shout out Havercard Man. We weren't able to acknowledge his presence before he left, But thank you for dropping by real quick. We hope that you hear this part of the replay, and if you did, just say I heard it. I hear you, Jello. I hear you. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm really excited because there's so many different decks that are look really fun or look really good. Whether it's gameplay or just pure card art in this set, and this was the only set that's coming out in November that wasn't supposed to come out in October, right?
I believe so. Yeah, because then they pushed the Battle City box, the Speed Duel, to December, and I
Okay.
think that was the two. These were the two things in November. I think that sounds right though.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because I was about to say I'm still angry that we had to wait so long, but if this wasn't the reason why we had to wait so long, then I retract that statement. But yeah, if anything, the one thing that I'm really hoping for are the is that I get everything I need for Tri Brigades out of this set. I do have a case coming in. I have 8 pre-ordered locally, and then 4 pre-ordered in Toronto. And the only difficult part is when I pre-ordered the 4 boxes in Toronto. This was back in, I think I want to say August or September, before I knew I was going to be moving. So that's being shipped to my old address. I can't change the address before they send it anymore. So I'm gonna have to go over to my old house. Thankfully, no one lives there yet. The new people won't be in there until November 15th. So I still have time to go over, open up the old mailbox, and get my stuff. And even my maximum gold pre-orders. I have 8 of the little boxes pre-ordered before. But so we'll get into this a little more later, but before the maximum gold opening videos were released, I had 8 of those little 4 booster boxes pre-ordered, and all of them are going to my old house. So I'm gonna have to go over there again to get those when they get released. But after I mentally broke down for a second, and before I knew it, I had pre-ordered 10 more. So yeah, that'll be really fun. That'll be really fun to see if my luck is abysmal or not. But anyway, what else in Phantom Rage was there to talk about?
I think because it wouldn't be the podcast without something a little controversial to bring to the table.
Yep.
How do you feel about them breaking the trend on Starlight rares being from each rarity, or pulling from each rarity? Because now, as far I should have been more prepared before I made such a bold statement, but they have multiple secret rares as the Starlight rare slots.
Oh, okay.
Um, so because all I know for a fact is the good Phantom Knights card, the tier
Yeah.
scale, I think it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and the Zeus Xyz monster.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are Starlight rares, and they're also both secret. I think one of the Tri Brigades are also a Starlight rare, I want to say.
Um, the,
Um,
the 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 desert sniper lady whose name we can never remember.
Okay, yeah, and I think she's also a secret rare. She might be an ultra. I know if it's ultra, then there's no problem with that. But the
Yeah.
point is, there's at least 2 secret rares that
Yep.
are also Starlight rares. And separate, but might as well join it in with this. But
Mm-hmm.
also, we got Hita, the Fire
Yeah.
Charmer link as our Starlight rare, as our extra card that isn't in the actual set.
Mm-hmm.
Which I respect. I think that's a good move by them. I would have liked to seen, like, of course, another hand trap introduced.
Mm-hmm.
But the next time we see that, it'll probably be going into the Ghost Girls, which I
Yeah.
feel like is kind of like a moment, you know? So
Yeah.
they might be waiting until next year or something to start doing the Starlight Ghost Girls. But what are your thoughts on them changing up the ratio of the rarities for Starlights?
Um, I think it's okay. Because I'm gonna be pulling from Vanguard very quickly, because back then, before standard format came in, there were there were a couple of sets where if you were lucky enough, you could pull an entire pack of foil cards, and they would range from cards not in that set, triple rares, double rares, single rares, and commons. So generally the way that it would go is commons, of course, are commons. Single rares in Vanguard are sort of the equivalent of the not shatter foils. Are they the shatter foils? The ones that just have like the foiling go throughout the entire card, but it's not like a heavy foiling like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like on top of the ink instead, because you can rub that away before you get to the actual ink. But sorry for the tangent. Continue though.
So after single rares or single R's, you would get double R's, which would have just this just that solid foiling, and then you had triple R's that had. It's a good thing I have a bunch of just random cards sitting. But yeah,
good example.
Yeah. So, and you get all of those in what we call SP rarity, and all of these SP cards were, what do you call it? Were textured, so they're all like ultimate rares basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get all of those, and some sets, some of the packs, because there were two variants of it in each one, or two or three depending on which set it was. Some of them they would have triple rares, like 5 of the 7 cards in the pack would be triple rares. Some of them originally triple rares and then turned into SPs, and then other ones would only have had like 1 triple rare that was turned into an SP. But they would always be really pivotal to the deck that or the build that they were intended for. So so going back and bringing it back to the original point is I don't really mind them skipping certain rarities as long as the card is actually good in the deck. Then that's sort of my 2 cents on it. Like it could be originally a common, like with what was it called, tier scale, Phantom Knight's tier scale.
Is that the common?
The common. I think
common,
so,
yeah.
So like even if it was originally common, like if I could get a Starlight and then know that it's actually really good in the deck that it's supposed to be used in, then that's fine with me. If they skip whatever, like as long as people can actually use the Starlight and it's not just, like, oh, here you go, here's we couldn't choose an actual super because that would make it too expensive, so but like here are actually really good staple cards that you need in certain builds or certain decks that you can get in Starlight. So I don't really mind it too much, but I can imagine the frustration with some other people, but more in the line of I wish that this card that was in that rarity that was missed. What was missed anyway? Was it super that wasn't? Was it a super that wasn't into a Starlight?
Like I said, I should have done more research before I brought up this claim. But by the way, just for clarity's sake, because I'm not interested in much of the Phantom Knights or Raid Raptor stuff, so I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
It's Torn Scales, which is the secret, which is also a Starlight rare. It's a secret and a Starlight. And I think there is one called Tier Scale, which is the common you mentioned, because I did pull quite a few of those. I remember seeing that. That's the difference. And I'm pretty sure Torn Scale is the one that gets you into crazy combos, right?
Okay. I don't know, because I hear that both of them are good. Unless the person that I was watching mistook Tier Scale for Torn Scale. Because and you can't blame them. The names are really similar. Just listening to it now. But Noel in the chat says it's Tri Brigade, Farigate, Farigate. I still can't say it. It's right there. Farigate the Baron Blossom. So she is a Baron sniper. Sounds exactly like Yoko from Gurren Lagann. There we go. It's a great classic anime. But anyway, I think she was a secret in the OCG, but she's an ultra here.
Yes, she is an ultra. I have the TCG player page up because I was like, I'm
Okay.
I'm not going to remember these names or the rarities or anything. They don't have the starlights on here though yet, and
Okay.
for time's sake, I'm not going to like try to find that because it's like floating around somewhere as opposed to like I think there being a nice like place to instantly get that information. But side note, again, like I said, I'll give spoilers to my opening. I did get the Armitile, the Chaos Phantasm,
Oh.
Phantom of Fury as one of my ultras, which sucks because from looking at past core sets, a lot of the ultras do end up being like
Really cheap.
$1,
Yeah.
like very cheap,
Yeah.
which I feel like this one is going to be. But on a personal level, that is cool because I did really like the Sacred Beast deck. Even though I don't really like, I have to read this card because I'm bad at Yu-Gi-Oh anyway. And from reading this card, especially when it comes to the rulings with giving stuff to your opponent, how I interpret this card is it's not actually that good, but I feel like it has to be if it's like an ultra and it's like the one card for Sacred Beast, not in the structure deck. But
Yeah.
okay, Golden Nova. My understanding is both are good, but Tyr is good at 3 and Greaves only at 1, which is why Tyr is the secret. Is Tyr the OCG name? And it's what is it? Or wait a minute. Hold on. I think I'm having an epiphany. Where is it? I can't find. Okay, so Torn Scales is in the OCG. It was Tear, and we are reading it as Tyr because I've always read it as Tyr, but that makes sense now.
That makes a lot of sense. Like, I see no crying in this card.
And then it's Stained Greaves as the other one.
Oh, okay.
So I don't even know. Like I said, so he did say Tear probably and Greaves is only at 1. So okay, we solved the case. Thank you, Golden Nova, which is why we need you back on one day.
Yeah.
To help us with stuff like this, or help me at least, since I had the namings all wrong there. But yeah, I think that sums up Phantom Rage. Do you have any final closing thoughts on it? Coming out next week.
Let's see. If I don't get a Starlight, I'll be really sad. But I won't be. I'm already preparing myself for not getting a Starlight. So yeah. Oh yeah. And if anybody here is going to watch, please watch. I do release it, but I'll be splitting up the openings into two separate openings. Of course, I don't want to, as much as I want to just do it all in one video, I don't want to have to wait another week or 2 weeks just to be able to open up an extra 4 boxes. So I'll be opening up the 8 that I pre-ordered here and then the 4 that I pre-ordered over from Toronto. I stopped pre-ordering from Toronto just because I want to open them a lot earlier. But the only drawback is they're a little more expensive where I live. So yeah, but I mean, if I get to open them day of, then that's great. Anyway, that's it for Phantom Rage. Golden Nova says, glad to help with pronunciation through a non-vocal medium. It's perfect, right? It's awesome. The torn turned into tear. It was all context clues. But anyway, so next thing that we have, and something that has already been hyper spoiled to us, Maximum Gold is coming out. What is it? Next week, I want to say.
We've been so excited. We've talked about it for, what is this, the 4th podcast, and these are every 2 weeks, so it feels like forever. But I don't even know when it comes out specifically. I just know it's in November.
Yeah. I'm gonna search it really quickly. And you can tell our
okay. Since you're searching it, I won't. I'm sorry.
You could talk to our wonderful.
I didn't hear you. I talked over you.
Oh.
Okay. I'll talk to them while you search.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, there was a leak a long time ago. I think it was June or July that it leaked the Gold Series contents, and we've been looking at it periodically every day. In our personal lives, we've been looking at it, and then a reconvening on the podcast bi-weekly, and we determined that it was legit. And then some Yugi tubers opened up the Gold Series and confirmed our suspicions as true. The leak, as far as I'm aware, is 100% true. I know I don't have the leak pulled up here again. I'm never actually ready for these things, but I know Miscellaneousaurus was on the leak, like she, the what we referenced,
Mhm.
and as of a few hours ago, that was confirmed. So it's like being more confirmed every day as people are starting to get their hands on the Gold series,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I'm very excited. I feel like going on a mini tangent, referencing how you are conflicted because like you want your product as soon as possible, but it's a little more expensive.
Yeah.
The vendor I get my product from has very good rates. It's almost at wholesale, but they ship from New York to me, and by the time I get it, it's like that Monday when it releases Friday, when
Oh
it's shipped
man.
out Friday at soonest.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to kind of go to my locals a little more for that stuff, sadly, because of course it is helping them out, and I'm always for helping them out. But when I like want to buy a display box of structure decks,
Mhm.
it's like $80 versus like $60, so
Yeah.
but what was my point with that? Oh, I haven't pre-ordered any Gold series or
Oh
anything, but I
no.
definitely really want to. But now I think I missed the window since everything was confirmed, so I'll probably just buy a few from either Walmart or my locals if my locals has them and stuff like that. So did you find the while I was
Yes, I found
talking?
it.
Yeah.
I managed to find it in the last couple of seconds before before we went silent. But yeah, to everyone who has seen the opening videos, I believe it was Nimhim was one. You had DZ, Team Sam, Ruggles, uh, MST. So Tom Box opened up a box, and there was one more. I forgot the name because he did it in Spanish. He was doing everything in Spanish. So, and even of course the cards were in Spanish as well. Cards that have been confirmed are Nibiru, Eldritch, the Golden Lord, the Ghost Sisters, Harpy's Feather Duster. What else was in there? The Caligo Clawcrow. I believe I think I got that right. Zodiac Trident, Beatrice of the Burning Abyss, Lady of the Burning Abyss, Utopia the Lightning, Stardust Assault Warrior, Called by the Grave was there as well. Phantasme also was confirmed there as an alternate art. And of course, the big three alternate arts, of course, we've already seen all of them in leaks except for Joel and Lockbird. And if you watch I think it was Team Sam and Tom Box that opened up the alternate arts for both of them, for Joel and Lockbird. Those are there as well. And yeah, I think. Oh yeah, Scrap Recycler, the Dragon Maids are in there as well. The barrier statues. Oh well, this was already sort of confirmed before, but those are in there as well. And Imperm, thank God, was in this set. That's the reason why I got 10 more. I'm like, okay, I'm probably only gonna get one out of everyone. So yeah, I ordered 10 the same day. I pre-ordered 10 more the same day. But yeah, it's crazy. This is actually crazy. The tin foil hat statement, it pulled through, guys. We just have to wear our tinfoil hats whenever we do this, and it just sends signals to Konami. It's like, just do it, just do it.
To Konami to actually print it.
Yeah,
That's why it takes them longer, because the reception's not too good.
yeah. You got to watch out for that 5G, guys. But Noel says ready for duel. I believe is the Spanish YouTuber. I think so. I don't want to take up too much time searching to make sure, but Noel, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, he pulled pretty broken in one pack. He got Nibiru and Golden Eldritch, I believe, in one pack. So that's insane. The amount of money you'll be saving off of these things is insane. And the secondary market, I haven't watched any market watches since the maximum gold openings, but I have seen some titles, and they say that the secondary market has crashed for quite a few things. So you got to give it to Konami for just saying, okay, fine. They got us. So let's just give it to them, but make them wait a little bit because they got us. You gotta blame Big Alan Mack. He went to
Yeah, yeah.
got his dad who works at Konami and said, "Can I get that list?" And he just made us wait an extra month. But yeah, that's crazy. Now, um, one thing that wasn't part of the original list was that there are three more alternate arts. So one of them is Phantasme. The other one, I'm guessing, is Levianeer because I forgot who pulled them, but there are two Yugi tubers that pulled them, and each one was in a different art. So there's Phantasme and Boral Sword Dragon. Oh, I forgot. Boral Sword has an alternate art in this set, and I don't know. I can't remember what the other one was. There's one more, I believe. It just says
I know
six
it
on the
was
original set.
pre-confirmed, but Droll and Lockbird
Yeah,
was a shown from these like reveals
yeah.
that we haven't seen before, because I'm on the YG organization, shout out them, that's where I get all my news from for this podcast usually. And the three alternate artworks that they're showing are Phantasme, Boral Sword, and Droll and Lock, even though, like I said, we knew that Droll and Lock existed, but like the Levianeer, I think that's, man, what set did it come in? It came in another set, that
Yeah.
art, that
Mm-hmm.
alternate artwork, but
Yeah.
I guess they're reprinting it because that alternate artwork in the OCG came out in their equivalent to this gold series
Oh,
set.
okay.
So it originally did have that like gold, like
Mm-hmm.
bordering like that new
That
ultra super
Yeah, the premium
mega
gold,
yeah,
whatever it's
premium gold.
called.
Oh, I'm using all these words, but that's it. Yeah.
I don't know if it's premium gold, but yeah, we're just gonna use that.
Yeah, the premium gold rarity.
Yeah.
But I think this opens up a little bit of a discussion in terms, or not a discussion, but just a point I want to say is
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad over the years, probably within the last 3 years specifically,
Mm-hmm.
we've been getting more and more alternate artworks for Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and that I think is a big step in the direction of like the longevity and like the not necessarily the financial aspect, but just in general the collectability of Yu-Gi-Oh. Because you look at Pokemon and Magic, the two big other guys. I'm sorry, Vanguard, but
Yeah, they're not as big.
I would consider them fourth probably. I know Dragon Ball Z over in like the Western hemisphere is doing a little bit, but I
Yeah.
don't know how big. But anyway, that's another tangent. Sorry, I keep going on these,
It's
hopping
okay.
from one to another. But my whole point is I think the alternate arts are very good because because Yu-Gi-Oh reprints cards like way more than like any other card game that are exactly the same, like mechanically the same, exactly
Yeah.
the same. So those alternate arts make it more of a good investment, and it also, from just a player standpoint, it looks amazing and it gives some uniqueness and like specialness
Mm-hmm.
and more options to the deck. So I'm really glad to see every set that they give alternate artworks, especially ones that are world premiere to like the TCG.
That's true.
Boral Sword and stuff like that was crazy. How you mentioned, I think you were getting at just like talking about them when you were mentioning specifically the Phantasme and the Boral Sword look amazing to me. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on the alternate arts?
So, before I get into like my actual opinion on the alternate arts, I'm just worried that, because Levianeer had both arts prior to this set, and the fact that
Mhm.
they're putting it into this set, my only worry is that they're counting that one as the sixth alternate art, and we
Mm.
wouldn't get another like an actual sixth alternate art that we haven't seen before. But yeah, my opinion on the alternate arts. So I really like Appaloosa. I really liked Stratos. I was one of the. I feel like I was one of. I was one in the half of people that liked the alternate art. Um, Droll and Lockbirds is okay. I wouldn't say it's a lot better than its original art. I kind of actually prefer the original art. Just because it's a little, there's a little more contrast. Boral Sword's really cool. I really like Boral Sword. The way that it's standing makes you feel like you're standing in front of it, and then it's about to eat you. But the only one that I can't get myself to like is Phantasme. for some reason. I don't know why. I really like the original art, and maybe that's why I might be a little biased to in favor of the original art, but there's something about the alternate art for Phantasme that it's not that I don't like it. I just like the original art a little more. But yeah, it's really nice that what do you call it, that Yu-Gi-Oh is starting to get more alternate arts coming from Vanguard. Here we go again, Vanguard. But Vanguard gets tons and tons and tons of alternate arts and retrains alternate arts of retrains. So you know, yeah, it's really cool to get that diversity. You know, within a deck, you can have different printings of the same card, and they'll all be different, right? It's just a pain when you have to write it down in a deck list because each one of their barcodes is different. But besides that, I think it's really nice for people, you know, just that just want variety in the deck. And I know that I personally am a fan of alternate arts, depending on the monster or the unit, of course. But yeah, I think it's really good. I think the alternate art choices were really good. I'm hoping that we still haven't seen the actual 6 alternate art yet, so hopefully we get that soon, and hopefully I get to pull it, so I can compare them. But yeah, that's it for my rant on alternate arts. I don't know if I went off for a second, but yeah, that's everything. Tinfoil Hat was right. I want to say it now. You can go back to episode, what was it? I want to say 5. I think it was when Golden Nova was on. We said, yeah, I'm going to say it. It's right. This was this list is legit, and we are going to get all of this stuff. And so far we've gotten most of what's on this list already. So that's really cool. I think that's really cool. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. So, segueing into the next topic, actually, the whole reason why we're so hyped about Maximum Gold, the Maximum Gold leak list being legit, is because we actually did get to see the cards. You know, we actually got to see the cards with the YugiTuber collaborations, and you know, you get almost household names. I'm guessing household names in the community now with Team Sam, Ruggles, Nimhim, Dzeef. I personally love listening to Dzeef just because his voice is very calming to me. But yeah, we get to see a lot of extra. Not extra. So we get to see a lot of early release stuff. And for me personally, if I was only a consumer of the content and not a content creator, then I would have absolutely no problem with it. I'd love to see things early. I'd love to get it early as well. But you know, just being able to see it actually, you know, like physically, not in person, but somebody else have it in person, is really cool. But that sort of leads me to where I have qualms with it just a little bit. It's not like before anybody, you know, like quotes me wrong and, you know, just chops out this 10 seconds of the podcast and goes and, you know, starts a witch hunt for me. I feel like this sort of increases the size of the void between the bigger YugiTubers and the smaller content creators in the space, because what are smaller product opening channels like mine supposed to do when people have already watched all the popular creators open up their stuff? There would be nothing new. Unless you like me for my personality. Thanks, guys. If you've already seen, you know, if you've already seen Cyber Knight open them, if you've already seen Simply Unlucky open them, Team Sam, of course, If you've already seen all these big people open them, then there isn't much to gain from, like going down deeper at that point. So,
Mhm.
it makes life a little harder in terms of gaining traction. But um, again, guys, I'm not complaining. I'm not, I'm not saying, oh, we have to help out the little guys. Um, but that's just how the whole situation feels right now. It sucks. I'm not gonna cherry put a cherry on it. But I'm okay with the extra challenge, but it does suck. But
Mhm.
anyway, JC told me earlier that he has views on both sides. So are you ready?
Yes. Okay. So let me
Okay.
get again. Quote this out of context. I don't. I don't mind. People know that I'm not too a negative person. I like to hope I don't give that off. But yeah, there's two wolves side every viewer of these early box openings. The one is the consumer, as you mentioned, the person who literally is like, oh, this is very cool. I'm very excited and hyped for this. The other side of things is, of course, the gap between smaller and bigger content creators in the Yu-Gi-Oh space is widened because of this. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very interesting. This, honestly, let me back up a little bit. So I think it's good because the Konami has had a long history of not communicating with not only the player base but with Yugi tubers in general. And it has been a thing for years and years since like Yugi tubing became like a space, like a recognized space on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
to where, oh, Konami never reaches out, never partners or anything like that. And over the years they have gotten better slowly and slowly. I remember a turning point in my eyes was like the Plunder Patrol reveals between Nim Nim, Team Sam, and Team APS, each showing off a Plunder Patrol, a world premiere card. That was crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's overall good in terms of what they did with the releasing of archetypes to get us hyped, like with
Mm-hmm.
the whole how, for instance, the virtual world, which you mentioned earlier, how you like they were growing on you.
Yeah.
I did not care about that archetype because I only read it on paper from YG organization. One day maybe sponsor us. I don't know if you do sponsors, but we use your information so much we should we should connect. But anyway, reading the virtual world cards on paper didn't interest me. When I saw Tom Box's or MST.TV's video going over the combos and going over the cards, worked. It worked. Konami ultimately gave him that information, gave him the nice high quality scans. They jumped right over Alan Mack for that one, and
His dad.
it made me as a consumer buy that box, like because
Yeah.
I was like interested in another archetype in the set.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is good. I think they should continue that. The issue is giving product, which also is good in the sense, as you mentioned, it's nice to see them physically.
Mm-hmm.
That is something physical, and that is something wholly giving an advantage to the bigger Yugi tubers, which again, they have earned it. I don't think any Yugi tubers that are big like somehow cheated the system. And if you
Yeah.
knew how to like cheat the system or anything, why would you choose the Yu-Gi-Oh space that that already has issues with the ceiling not being too high on Yu-Gi-Oh? But I think because I look at small channels, especially like because on Instagram specifically, I see a lot of channels that are just opening videos or
Mm-hmm.
opening channels,
Yeah.
and when they magically get a box in a few days early from Amazon, right, or their
Yeah.
locals that's not an OTS like hooks them up or something weird,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they get their spike.
Yeah.
All of the Yugi tubers that got this early access box got these early access box openings with Phantom Rage and the Gold series. They aren't even opening channels. I would say Team Sam is the most well-rounded in terms of having a lot of openings on his channel,
Yeah.
but none of them like are like you or like me that like a big portion of content is literally opening product.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what doesn't sit right with me, I guess. It's just
Mm.
the fact that it is the first time we see the bigger YouTubers getting getting an advantage that's not just, oh, they have more skill or more like just like not talent, but you know what I mean? Like more
Mm.
like they put more into their channels. They have more of a following for a reason,
Yeah.
but it's not that it's physically just a simple object they've obtained that will naturally give them a leg up. So ultimately, I think with the good and the bad, it kind of evens out
Mm-hmm.
almost, because
Yeah.
this is what we've been asking for years in the YugiTube community. It's something to strive for. Also, as you said, it's just an extra challenge to take
Yeah.
on, you know. And it's like one day when we get those boxes in, we'll be saying we'll delete this video. You know, the
Yeah.
replay won't exist. So I hope Haver Card Man sees it in time before we, we get our boxes in. So that's where I stand. I guess it's just I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah. And like you said, it's with the smaller channels that just, you know, randomly get boxes opening. Um I can kind of see that going both ways, cuz going viral is it's a huge spike, but it only lasts for so long. Cuz if you look at a lot of things that have gone viral, like memes or meme songs, if you've heard of the Seventh Element by Vitas, Vitas, like
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
that thing blew up a couple of years ago, and then like I listened to it. I actively tried to find it again a couple of months ago. So it took a while to find it, but like going back to the point of going viral, those it helps, but um the reason why I said I'm sort of embracing the challenge, the higher challenge of trying to get viewers after, because of course people want to see things as early as possible, and then once they get their content fixed, they are like, okay, I don't really care anymore. um it's always, for me, it's always better to, you know, like get one or two that will actually stay and watch, as opposed to 100 that have that will only look at one thing and then never come back. But yeah, it is 50 but like I said, guys, um JC and I are not complaining. Okay, we are not trying to start a revolution from the sewers that is the Yugi tubing kingdom. Okay, we are just simple dudes trying to, you know, make simple content. Well, my content's very simple. JC's are a lot more research heavy, but what I'm trying to say, guys, is please don't go out and tell people, you know what Jello and JC said about these bigger YouTubers. Okay, we really appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, that's it about the YouTuber topic that we had up. And next we have Blazing Vortex. So Blazing Vortex, I think, is either the first or like the second thing to come out next year. I want to say that it's Legendary Duelist Season 2 that's first, like the end of January, and then Blazing Vortex is like early February. But I'm going to check that out very quickly. But yeah, we did get some more leaks from the set. Of course, we have the best card already released, already spoiled, and that is White Baking. But we did get some other stuff, and I do want to shout out Artist with Afro, Professor Bonsai on Twitter. He was supposed to be with us today talking about I actually did want to talk to him about this one card in specific, because this is one of the things that I associate with him a lot, and that was Ancient Warriors Rebellious Lu Feng, or Lu Feng, however you pronounce it. And to those of you who haven't seen it, or to those of you who have seen it but don't know the history behind Lu Feng, or Lu Bu in the Romance of Three Kingdoms, he was one of the baddest Oh my gosh, I almost. I'm gonna say it. He's one of the baddest badasses of the entire thing, because he literally sided with no one, fought everyone, and when he did die, there are a couple different ways that people said he died, but when he did die, it was in one of the most like OG ways possible. He's like, just kill me. He let himself get captured, then he fought a bunch of people and killed himself. But his abilities are what really intrigues me, because it is so it's very telling of his history, because you can only special summon him if you have the strongest monster on the field, which is literally what he did. Lubu would only ever join like the strongest person, or he would be the strongest person there. And then I forgot at what interval. I think it's like at the end phase or the beginning of the standby phase of each player's turn. If your opponent controls a monster that is that has an attack value higher than any of your monsters, they gain control of Ancient Warrior's Rebellious Lufeng. So he literally just bounces off both sides of the field depending who has what. And it was just really, really interesting to me and really funny. But yeah, so that was all I had for Blazing Vortex. If you wanted to talk about some of the other stuff that you found.
Okay, so I will preface this with saying, just because I have the card up, just to confirm, it's an end phase. During each player's end phase, that happens, the switch. So you were right on saying that. I just wanted to verify since I was reading it. Okay. But I will preface this with saying that there were actually quite a few leaks about Blazing Vortex, but we're just gonna, I think going forward on the podcast also actually just talk about what we specifically are most excited for / what we think would be like good information for the player base, that listens. So that way we aren't like reading off a list of like, because I think it's like probably like 20 cards since the last episode. Like it's been a lot like released. So the ones I want to talk about real quick is just the Armed Dragon Ritual monster. They're going heavy on Armed Dragon in the set already, like with it being like one of the major like archetypes that are in the set, and I think is it a cover? Is it one of the cards on like the no, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, it is the cover card. Okay, because I was gonna say one of the cards, but it's a core set, so it just is one monster. I'm so used to all these sets, too many cards. But Paladin of Armored Dragon and its ritual spell, which Paladin of Armed Dragon, it lets you tribute it to special summon out a level 5 or higher Wind Dragon from your hand or deck, which helps the strategy. And also the ritual spell, it's attached to Paladin of Armored Dragon. It can only be used to ritual summon that. And then during your main phase, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish monsters from your hand or face-up field who equal 4, which is the level of Paladin of Armored Dragon, to special summon it back from your graveyard. So they like have like double utility almost. Like you get a lot of value in those cards. No one's going to play it, I don't think. I always found shoehorning a ritual monster into an archetype is very difficult to make it worth it, and I still don't think it's worth it. But it might be an option. I might be wrong. I haven't really like did the archetype at all, but I think it's interesting mainly because it's following a tradition of the other paladins. Specifically, Paladin of White Dragon was like one of the first cards I thought was cool that I owned, and I couldn't believe when it was Paladin of Cursed Dragon from the zombie structure deck. That just blew my mind. So I've always liked that like series of monsters. One day, probably in 2022, they'll make it an archetype, like how they did with the Charmers and stuff like that. Eventually everything has to be connected.
Definitely.
What else do I have on my little phone here saying what I have to talk about? The Dream Mirror support, they got a trap card. I'm just glad to see them getting new support. Hopefully one day they will be meta. I find the actual what's the word, mechanics of the archetype lead to it always being a little too slow, but I still think it helps. The effect is like 5 lines, so I'm not going to read it, but basically it seems relatively good. Um, I'm just going to read it, whatever.
Oh,
Shuffle any Dream Mirror monsters you control that tributes itself to activate its own effect into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. That, for me personally, in my mind, like in a vacuum, I look at things in a vacuum, which is never good in Yu-Gi-Oh! But in my mind, I always thought a weak point of the mechanic of Dream Mirrors was you kind of burn through your monsters very quickly.
mhm.
But if they're in your deck, then you can just kind of cycle instead.
Yeah.
So that, I don't think it fixes the deck, but it makes it safer feeling for me personally as a player. So I do like that card a lot, even though it is a trap card, which does suck in 2020. But you take what you can get with
Yeah.
these lower tier archetypes. And finally, a new pot card, which
Yes.
again I have to look up because I don't remember the specifics, but
It's almost
apparently
like
you get to
Pot of
choose.
Extravagance. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get to choose your targets for your
Oh.
banishing from the extra deck.
Okay. So it's a power
Which
crept.
is
It's a power crept Pot
yeah,
of Extravagance.
and it's okay, so I'm still trying to find it, but from what I remember, it was so Pot of Extravagance, you either send 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck to either draw 1 or 2 cards from your deck.
Yeah.
This one, you do the same thing, 3 or 6 banished. I probably face down because you don't want to abuse anything with it being banished face up,
Mhm.
and you get to excavate that amount of cards from your deck to pick one, so you can basically dig up to 6 cards deep to
Mhm.
pick a card from them from your deck.
And then you put the
That's
rest at the bottom,
basically
right?
Pot of Duality. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think you just put the rest of the cards like to the bottom of the deck or something like that. Because I
I
remember it
think,
looking really good, like on
is
paper.
it the bottom or is it just in, because I'm thinking it's so similar to Pot of Duality that oh, here it is in big Pot of Disparity.
Yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
what does it do? Place the rest on the bottom of your
Yeah.
deck in any order. So you were mainly right, but I did say you get to pick the order. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's at the bottom of the deck. So it's not as good as I thought, but that's like kind of like asking for too much. The
Mhm.
point is it is very good looking at the top 6 cards of your deck
Yeah.
to get any card you need. That's everyone plays 40 card decks usually.
Mhm.
Even if you're playing a 60 card deck, I can't talk. Even if you're playing a 60 card deck, you still get a tenth of your deck in, and that's not including like what the 5 you have in your hand from drawing and all that stuff,
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think this is very good. I know it's going to be a secret rare.
Definitely.
I know they probably were not feeling too strongly about Blazing Vortex, so they needed something to make us buy it.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. I think it's a good, similar to Extravagance, where the main utility will be in more rogue decks.
Mhm.
But again, sadly, it will suffer from the same problem where rogue players are usually not rich players, and so they probably won't be able to, and I say that from experience, they probably won't be able to afford Pot of Disparity, which Golden Nova says he is so ready for it. The effect is so cool, and I definitely agree. It reminds me of if you couldn't tell from previous podcast things, I've said that I've looked into Magic the Gathering a lot, like Magic the Gathering, like YouTubing,
Mhm.
and it reminds me of scrying,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
thing, yeah, and that I think that is so cool when I see a mechanic that looks really interesting in another card game
Mhm.
kind of come over here. And again,
Yeah,
it's been on
definitely.
Pot of Duality, but it's nice to see them use a little more.
Mhm.
So that's all I have to say about Blazing Vortex. Do you
Okay.
have anything else? I know you said you just wanted to mainly focus on the actually very interesting effect that I learned from this as well on the Ancient Warriors monster. But is there anything else that piqued your interest at all so far?
So, I actually went on to Blazing Vortex's page originally to see the timeline of everything. So the first 3 sets that we'll be getting are Legendary Duelist Season 2, January 22nd, and then Blazing Vortex on February 5th, and then March we'll be getting Ghosts from the Past, which we'll talk about in a very quick second. But what I did want to talk about was that one sentence, that one sentence in Blazing Vortex's page that says the latest version. So in addition, you can find blah 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 for 2 lines, and then the latest version of an iconic spell card that everyone knows. So I think that this is what they're talking about. So that is the latest version of an iconic spell card that everyone knows, and then a world premiere card that reinvents another classic spell card, which is at this point Crossout Designator. So I think, I don't know, or maybe this is the I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Just
the only thing I think, because so for a prior podcast you brought up, which I definitely agree once you showed me the connection, is that I thought they were, or you thought they were referring to Crossout Designator with that first one, the reimagining of a classic spell card. Because Pot of Duality is like what, from 2009, 10, I think. So I don't know. I feel like when they talk about classic, they're really talking about years, like, yeah. But the world premiere, I think it has to be like that wording usually is like not from the OCG, like that is like a world premiere. So I don't think that could be Crossout Designator. Okay. But maybe it does make sense because now we have this one confirmed for the set, and this is a reimagining of a pretty classic thing. But I feel like Konami's version of classic and what the player base can consider classic. Again, I don't know if they would use the word classic to describe duality specifically.
That makes sense.
But that just means we got to get our tin hats.
Yeah. So the world premiere card reinvents another classic spell card. So I think that is the Crossout Designator, and then this one is the latest version of an iconic spell card that everyone knows. So that might be this, because it's just another pot, right? So yeah. But anyway,
that makes sense.
that was it. That was all that I had for Blazing Vortex. I am super excited for this set because of Pot of Disparity. I want to try using this. Actually, I'm thinking, because I'm building a Blackluster Soldier fun deck, and I'm thinking of whether or not I want to put in 3 pots of Extravagance, since I don't really use the extra deck anyway, or maybe wait for this and then get this, but that's besides the point, and I don't want to take up too much time, because as usual, guys, we have gone overtime. So let's see, let's just go into the chat for a sec, because it's been a bit. The Death Machine, what's up, bro? Nothing much. In the middle of a move still. Haven't gotten everything I managed to move. Another fish tank today, but that was it. Golden Nova says he is so ready for Pot of Disparity. The effect is so cool. It is really cool. The only downside, the only thing that Pot of Extravagance has over this is that you only get 1 card, as opposed to if you banished 6, then you would get 2 with Extravagance. But I think that the fact that you get to choose is just fine. I think that sort of does it for me, and you get to choose from 3 or 6 cards. So that's it. But yeah, the effect is so cool. Luber Pooper says hello. And Tario Frost has made his scheduled entry. What's up, Tario? Love you too, brother. Anyway, moving on into, I believe, the last thing that we had, and that is Ghosts from the Past. And this is, yes, Ghosts from the Past, and it's actually, people are saying that, I think it was on, I can't remember whose channel, so I'm not going to say whose it was, but Ghosts from the Past, they released it, I think, they announced it, at least. Was it I think it was today or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. They released it. They announced it yesterday, and some people were saying, "Ooh, this is the spooky spooky set for Halloween Day." And Ghosts from the Past. But anyway, yeah, this will be the third confirmed set for 2021. Like I said, end of March. And I'm just gonna read this real quick on my thing here. So, Ghosts from the Past has 9 new cards from the past. 9 new cards from different themes in the past. From the past, strategies from many different eras of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, like Dragoonity, Shaddoll, and Cypher, will be bolstered. Now, some people are saying that the Dragoonity structure deck cards will be put into here, but we've yet to see that. But if it does, then it does, right? Not much we can do there. 2 brand new themes. So the villainous Spectre Sun Avalon strategy. Spectre Sun Avalon strategy from Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains takes its roots in Ghosts from the Past. The link-based summoning theme lays out a cunning web of interconnected monster effects or to trap unsuspecting duelists. The second new theme will be a game original strategy. So that'll be really cool. I've never seen this clause before, this phrase before in any set that has been released since I came back. So that'll be really interesting to check out. And the next thing is, you want to try a new deck. If you thought Metal Foes, the new Metal Foes and Blazing Vortex were cool, but you didn't have the rest of the cards to try the deck out, you can find them here in Ghosts from the Past. Need the original Armed Dragon level 10 to complete your Armed Dragon deck? It's here. You can also find Raid Raptor, Tribute, Lanius, Requiem, a Dark Requiem, Xyz Dragon, and Phantom Knight's Fogblade that you might need for that Raid Raptor Phantom Knight team-up deck you've been working on since Phantom Rage release. I like how they it was pointed out on a stream before, but I like how they mentioned that you've been working on since Phantom Rage was released. And like, I was thinking, and the streamer was thinking, it hasn't come out yet. We haven't been working on it yet. We haven't started working on it yet. But anyway, glorious ghost rares. Now this is the thing that piques my interest the most, and I'm super thankful because recently, like a couple of days ago, I went to my locals. I brought all my binders and to see if I could get store credit for Phantom Rage. And one of the cards that I sold was Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. So I'm glad that I sold that because now I can get it here. So there are 5 ghost rares in this set, and one of the confirmed one is Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. And this set is 136 cards in total, with 45 new cards and 91 returning cards, 5 of which only appear as ghost rares. All other cards appear in the standard Gold Ultra Rare technology. Each box contains 3 5-card Ghosts from the Past packs for a total of 15 cards. So this is going to be like the next Duel Saga mini box, I believe. So that is the entire web page, guys. So you don't have to go there. I used my saliva for you guys. So yeah. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this set? Because this actually seems really interesting, at least to me. This seems really interesting. So, what is your dollar on it?
So, starting from the beginning of what you said, I am one of those people that thinks the Dragoonity structure deck will be put in this. I thought it was going to be in Genesis Impactors because the reason why people are heavily assuming the Dragoonity structure deck isn't going to be a structure deck here is because they have the Spirit Charmer structure deck already on the Yu-Gi-Oh product page, and they have the Ice Barrier structure deck. Yeah. Between that, they should have somewhere on the product page the Dragoonity structure deck. So that kind of heavily implies that they are going to have to fit those cards in somewhere. The only thing making me think they wouldn't put it in this set is the fact that I don't know how many unique cards are part of that structure deck and how many are like reprints. But if we're only getting 45 new cards, that's potentially what, like half of those 45 are Dragoonity cards, and then or more than likely like a fourth of them. And then also if they're all going to be ultra rare, I don't know if they would give those all of those cards the rare. You know what I mean? They did do that with Pendulum Evolution. They made it into a booster set itself, but it also had super rares and stuff. It was supers and ultras. But so that's why I think it might not be. But since they mentioned Dragoonity, and since Dragoonity is coming out in like the core sets and stuff, also they have to give it to us soon. I doubt it'll be one of those weird that it just doesn't happen for us. You know, like a weird like skip over. Yeah. So that's the Dragoonity thing. That's where I stand on it. I think it'll be in here. I hate to burst a bubble because it made me feel good that you were excited for this, but what I interpret, I may be wrong also, so take this with a grain of salt, but when they say a new theme that will be game original strategy, I think that's just as opposed to an anime theme. So kind of like, you know, like a random like World Chalice, you know, or just like or Tri Brigade, you know, all those cards that are just in the card game and not in the anime, only because it's in a paragraph that's talking about, you know, the Sun Avalon anime, and then they're like, oh, and then something not from the anime. That's what I'm interpreting. Regardless, though, a brand new archetype in the set hopefully is cool. I can't think of any random archetypes that are in the OCG right now that we haven't gotten that came out recently, or that aren't like part of a set we're already getting, you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully this is like kind of not, I don't care if it's world premiere, but I hope it's something at least surprising and cool.
Yeah.
What else? I'm also glad the reprints here are smart because it directly correlates to the like legacy support we're getting from core sets,
Yeah.
which works out because a lot of the time recently they've just been putting that in OTS packs. Which like is nice, but then you get like all your common cards, like all your common, which is nice. Like I'm not one to knock common cards, but when like work is beautiful, you know, you got to give it some respect a little bit with that shiny foil.
That's right.
And the ghost rares, unless the ratios work out to where you can get like one a box, like guaranteed or something, I won't be too I won't be too excited about it, I should say, because like same thing with Starlight rares and stuff. I think they're awesome looking. If I were to pull one naturally, I don't even know if I would sell it just because they are so rare and awesome. But like, I never see myself buying one. And so I'm not really ever super excited because what I get from the game is collecting deck cores because I find archetypes so interesting. And that doesn't like align directly with what I get the most pleasure out of the game with. But I still think it's really awesome because that's a rarity that should be brought back from the past, as the name implies. And that has been my whole my giant paragraph. You read your paragraph. I said up here, so that's my thoughts on it. You, as I just mentioned, you read the paragraph, but what are some off the brain thoughts about this? Any final thoughts on this? Because I think I said everything I could about this. It came out yesterday.
I like the game original strategy. I don't mind if it's just, you know, another thing. Like that's really cool to me because one of the limitations that I've always found with a card game that's tied to an anime is that a lot of the times they are limited to how long the anime goes on for. So the fact that that's one of the reasons why Magic is so good, why why Magic is so good. Just leave it there before I move into another thing. Pokemon sort of tackles it in a different way by just having, you know, like the same Pokemon but with different move sets and stuff like that, or like the GX, the EXs, and the duos and stuff, which is really cool. But one of the fears that I've always had for games like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Vanguard, and or any other card game that's based on an anime, depending on how long the anime lasts for, that's the only that's sort of your limit as to how much new content you can bring out in terms of things that are exciting. But if they go in this route, and I know that they have in the past, you know, with things like you said, with Tri Brigades and Dogmatica being, you know, only in the game, I don't think and with them coming out with this, I don't think that Yu-Gi-Oh has that problem, and it makes me excited for what it will be and how it affects the rest of the game. So yeah. And as for the Ghost Fairs, I think it's really cool that there are 5 different Ghost Fairs in this set. Like you, I'm probably not going to buy them. I'm probably never going to own one unless I pull it naturally or somebody, you know, like gives it to me for no reason for free. I was just really glad that Black Eyes. Oh my God, Blue Eyes alternative. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon was listed here because I know that if that goes onto the secondary market, the prices for all the other printings of it will go down. So I'm really glad that I sold mine for $20 before this came out. But yeah, that is everything that I had. Noel says, as somebody who came back into the TCG over the summer, Ghosts from the Past sounds like a great option to wait out to build stuff I missed out on over the few years. And I agree. I too didn't come back to Yu-Gi-Oh until late March. So you know, the secondary market has been the king of my wallet for a while because of that. And I'm glad that Konami has these random sets like maximum gold, like what do you call it? Like we had Battles of Legend Armageddon earlier this year. We have Ghosts from the Past coming out later next year. With easier ways for us to get back into the game without having to go out and buy a certain card that's probably like $100. So yeah, that is I think that's everything that we had to say. Is there anything left, JC?
Just to build off of that, like them reprinting things for like returning players. Another thing that I do respect that I've seen them do like kind of constantly since the deck build packs from the OCG, which come over here in the form of like Secret Slayers, for instance. You get those new, like those 3 strategies, but then the random cards, not all of them, it's not perfect, but a lot of those random outside support that are from years ago,
Like
they
generic
do
cards,
reprint those usually in a higher rarity, which I always found very, very good for, returning players, so they can kind of like get better access. Like Upstart Goblin was like a $5 common at one point, and now it's like I think a $2 super rare now, I think by now, but just like those little things definitely help. And even though I know the player base usually gets this from TCG player as opposed to directly because of not everyone's near an OTS, but those OTS packs have been doing a better job consistently the past few of actually reprinting things that matter. Because in the past, like sometimes they reprinted like some dumb things, but lately I think they've been doing a better job with what the commons are. Definitely. So yeah, overall, good Konami. You got to give me a booster box so you can get a louder clap. For now, I'll give you where credit is where credit's due.
Yeah, we'll send you a tinfoil hat too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was everything that we had lined up for this week, guys. We hope that you guys enjoyed the rambling, and we hope that next week both of us have our tinfoil hats, and make sure that you guys at home have your tinfoil hats as well, so that whenever we go on crazy maniacal rants on what might be, you guys feel the wavelength with us, the
good
tinfoil
vibes.
hat wavelength. Yes. But anyway, as always, guys, don't forget to like the video. Tell your friends to watch the replay. We'll only have it on for a little bit, so you gotta make sure that you watch it before we take it down. And JC, is there anything you would like to say?
Shout out. I'm gonna kind of jump the gun here a little bit and go straight to shout out Golden Nova. For literally being the from the very beginning to the very end, at least vocally, like in terms of being in the chat from the very beginning to the very end. I'm just going to do all the shout outs here since I'm saying it. Shout out Haver Cardman when you rewatch this sometime next week, I'm assuming, probably, when you fit it into your schedule. Shout out you for stopping by, because even if you don't have time, I think it's very cool to just like snipe in real quick and be like, hey, I'll watch this later, but just giving my support now, Thank you, Noel, for joining the chat also, and actually giving us like useful information from like telling us Baron Blossom. And also I did look it up, I never mentioned it, but Ready for Duel was the Spanish Yugi tuber, so thank you for that as well. Death Machine joining in on the kaiju videos. I don't know specifically what that means, but you could always use a kaiju. Looper Pooper, I love your name. Hello as well. And Ghost from the Past did not come out yet. It should be coming out next year, I think late March. Terrio Frost, always nice to see you in the chat. And then who else? I think that's everyone. If I'm missing anyone, I apologize. But thank you all for being part of this.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. And is there anything that you want the chat to look out for on your channel?
Oh yeah. So
I almost forgot about that.
Naruto Shippuden is, I believe, 700 to 800 to. I don't think it's 900 episodes, but I know it's in. So yeah, it's like 700 to 800 episodes, like guaranteed. So by the time what is this, episode 7 of the podcast?
Yeah.
By episode like 15 of the podcast, when I have a new YouTube video, I'll let you know. But just if you're not subscribed to me, since this is on Jello's channel, I would appreciate. He always has me in the link, in the description rather, a link to my channel if you just want to hit that subscribe over there. But that's it. That's all I have to say now, actually.
All right. And
about you, what do you have to get up?
Just like you, I would like to shout out everyone in the chat: Noel, Golden Nova, Looper Pooper, Tario Frost, the Death Machine, Havok Hardman. Thank you guys for dropping by, and thank you for adding to the conversation as well. Don't forget to follow me and JC on all of our social media links. They're right here, and they're over there on JC's end over there. And yeah. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, hopefully. One more apology to Afro. It is I do take full responsibility for the lack of proper scheduling. The move was a little rough, but we will have him on hopefully for episode 8. So watch out for that. I have a couple of new video ideas that I want to come out with. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that soon. I need to consult with JC because he's my main go-to guy for videos. But other than that, guys, have a wonderful beginning of November. May your pockets always be full, because there are 3 different things coming out this month, and Speed Days coming out in December. But anyway, as always, guys, have a good night. Take care. Thank you so much for dropping by, and you guys are now in the Yugi know. That is the new catchphrase for the show. Anyway, bye guys. Good night.
Bye.